Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 194 today, and we are here at my house because we have been, I feel like a bit of the Twilight Zone just keeps happening. Just because no matter how far ahead I think I finally am getting, it's the whole one step forward, three steps back. Not a waltz I'm used to or care for.
Right.
I keep getting sick, or projects keep being introduced to the house just to not be able to fulfill. And another thing happened to our family. We got head lice this week. Likely just something the kids picked up from school. But it just meant that all of a sudden, all the stuff and the progression of finally being able to move furniture back into rooms after painting was done, while being sick, that did not allow the project to be just a one-day one and done, is now being tampered with having to decontaminate. Now, obviously, we are fine now. The fear of bugs is gone, but we're still just working through all the things that we bagged up and tried to get things separated to make sure we were fine. And the rooms are just still in chaos because every single time I think I can get them back in order, something happens. So, being here today made a little bit more sense for filming. To be able to allow us to even be able to film, because my time has to kind of be spent getting things done. But we were able to squeeze in a couple minutes just to be able to say hi and just to kind of talk about, what we're doing right now, despite life getting in the way of the hobbies.
Or you're going to hear what's going on in our lives pretty much instead of showing projects, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is just much more of a, I noticed that through this experience we have seen what reliable things we have been noticing keep popping up in the house, such as blankets, like the one behind me, or toys that I've made, or just decor,
Pumpkins.
or things where they just kind of spark joy. I've, my kids, last year and I made a house elf for Christmas.
Yeah.
We named him Tingle, and we have a mailbox that while Tingle is back in the North Pole, he sends letters to the kids, and they can send letters back through the mailbox in the window. And it is so sweet that even though Christmas is normally just a December holiday, we've noticed that this idea that there is a magic that can be experienced throughout the year has been so fun. And one of the fun things about this project was that my son remembers me making them. And he will be like, "You made them out of yarn, and then something happened." I'm like, "It was Christmas magic." And just the way that they have enjoyed this idea that they are communicating with this friend has been so awesome. And they can't wait. Tingle's going to be coming back in for Thanksgiving, and then spend the rest of the holiday through to New Year's with us. That's what we're going to be doing. And just the fact that, the other day, my son was watching the Mario movie. He brought all the Mario toys I've made, all of them, out that he could find. And he's like, "I need more. There needs to be more added to the collection." And just me realizing that this idea that this hobby, this talent, whatever you want to call it, that I've acquired over patience and time is now something that is sparking what will be childhood memories for my children that I hope will remain fond.
Right.
I know how exciting this is for them. And just even the small things. Like, Olivia loves the blankets. She is such a cozy girl. When the head lice happened, and needing to decontaminate the bedding and all this stuff, the amount of stuff I had to take off of her bed because she has body pillows and life-size stuffies, and she had probably 5 blankets on the bed, even though she used only one, just because some of them are just layered in the way that she had it all set up. And going down to just one pillow and one blanket was literally ripping her away from what makes life worth living.
Right.
And it just is one of those things where knowing that about her, every single time she sees a blanket Nana making, it's just this idea of comfort, and
she's always asking for them
because she likes to be cozy. Whereas Caniel has a lot more imagination tied to the craft. Olivia benefits from the comfort of the craft.
Yeah.
Not that Caniel doesn't like his blankets, because he does. But it's just very interesting, the parts of the craft that spark some sort of happiness in the kids that we see. I mean, the other day I was at my mother-in-law's way before the head lice, and she was talking about the blanket that I made her, the Afghan that she asked for with the mitered squares that I knitted and then crocheted together. You guys saw that. It was a heavy weighted blanket a couple of years ago, or however long it was. And the fact that she says that it is her go-to when she's feeling sick, because even though it's not weighted, it is weighted.
Yeah, and it's pretty thick.
And it's pretty heavy, and and some of the other family members like to fight over it. And then she was telling me that, no, this isn't the only thing I've received from your family, and she meant mine personally, because she was talking about quilts that she has received from you, and just what that has meant to her, or and just that idea of these homemade gifts. It spawned this need to show all these homemade gifts that she that were around this idea of comfort that she was pulling out of the closet, even if it wasn't made from us, just other people,
right?
Whether received from however, it just created this idea of, in some way, homemade does it different.
Yeah.
And even if you don't know...
Ooh. Sorry about that. I was just trying to adjust.
And that even though sometimes we might not even know where the spontaneous, homemade item is coming from, you can tell that there's just something to it that makes the moment almost more special, intentional, cozier. I mean, we've used that word a couple times since autumn has hit.
Yeah.
But I even realized that when I was, like I said, decontaminating, just trying to make sure I'm taking care of laundry and blankets in the living room as I'm vacuuming and stuff. A Christmas quilt that you made a long time ago that is just always out. It's just a staple quilt that we always have out, but I just kind of looked at it. I was like, this is a Christmas one. It's gonna stay out. That's not changing, but there's just a sense of just because it sparks a said feeling,
right,
doesn't take away the fact that it's just gonna be used. This one to me screams autumn. It also screams 70s.
Yeah.
It screams shag carpet to me. I love it because in my head it sparks so many different creative and fun things.
Right.
The big blanket that you made me when I was a teenager, with a single crochet because you refused to learn any other stitch for such a long time.
Right. That was the one I knew.
That huge one is on top of Caniel's full-size bed right now.
Right.
And he has my black and white blanket, that scrappy blanket that you made me, and he's using both of those because he loves them. Like my husband loves the quilt that you made him for his birthday all those years ago.
Yeah.
He uses that actively every night. Like, there's such a thing where even though throughout all the chaos, there's still things that we gravitate towards. Mm-hmm. There's this thing of my child knowing that Christmas is coming. And I think that he knew to ask for
more of the Mario toys.
Yeah, and I don't know if he knew that it was a Christmas bound thing, because I told him that it would likely be a Christmas thing, but he's just like, still. Because I didn't know if he was just asking for them right now, but there's a reality where I was kind of setting myself up for success, being like, it's probably going to be more Christmas and your birthday, but, you know, just because his birthday's so close, that's something that's just going to be wormed into it. But the way that he was just like, still. And I'm like, okay, buddy. And just the whole, like, he isn't even asking for me to go buy them at this point. Because all of them have been homemade at this point. There's no reason to change that.
Right, exactly.
And I just, like I said, we realized that today we really don't have a show and tell, but there's just a value in what has already been made.
Yes. And
the way that it has lasting and impacting homes that it finds its way into.
Yeah.
And I've been just kind of sitting with that and realizing that in every little thing that we have adapted with this, whether it's just a toy that holds some sort of magic throughout the year, like with our Tingle Elf, or just even a blanket that sparks some level of joy or comfort, or some homemade toys that my son wants me to add to the collection, or a comfy blanket that my daughter hoards like she's a dragon in her den.
Right. It's all good, and you know, I'm working on another blanket right now. Mm-hmm. And it's another, what Sarah calls brick blanket, but it's different coloring, and I love the colors that are going into it, especially the first 3 colors. It was more like jewel tones, and it was so pretty.
I can't wait to see it.
And then I put you know those green, it was more like a green yellow, but it was more like a neon, so it's really bright, and I put it in there, and I'll tell you, I hated it at first because it messed with the pretty jewel tones that I had started out with. But now that I put it in a couple of different times, it really brightens it up. It needed it, and I didn't realize it. And so I'm working through that. It's probably up to here right now, so I'm trying to get it up to here. So I've got about this much more to go.
Maybe about a foot.
So I've been working on that. I didn't want to bring it today because I have a bag just with camera gear, and then I have my writing that we're going to be doing after filming today, where I have a laptop bag with all my notebooks and stuff in there for our writing session.
Yeah, just other hobbies that we have outside of this, and it's a little bit easier with all the decontaminating I'm doing. I know the bugs are gone, but it's just so tedious that getting more stuff out when my house is so... everything's been torn up. It was just easier to pull out a laptop and some notebooks than it was to grab a whole bunch of stuff for both of us. Even if I had come to her house like we normally do to film, I don't know what I would have brought, and it made more sense just to kind of just talk.
So there's been some changes in my life as well. A lot of different changes. But beginning with the beginning of September, I have been going through some testing at the hospital. And so it all started with my colonoscopy that you're supposed to get every 5 years. And Then the very next week I ended up with an upper scope and some, it led to taking a patency capsule, which is a precursor to a pill cam. And so I ended up doing the patency pill and then having an x-ray the next day to see if it was still traveling through my system, because that was a step to make sure that if it got stuck, it would that patency pill would just dissipate and come out of your system eventually. If I was to take the pill cam first and it got stuck, it would have to include an operation to remove it. So since the patency pill did pass, then they scheduled a pill cam, which I just did this past week, or couple days ago. And I had to wear a device for 8 hours to capture what the pill cam was taking pictures of through my esophagus and stomach and small intestine and into my large intestine. And so then you bring the device back and you just wait for the
results.
The pill cam to finish its journey. And then now I'm just waiting for them to put all the pictures into a video that the doctor can watch and see if there's anything that's alarming. And I haven't gotten any news back. It may take a week and a half, 2 weeks to get any kind of news back on any of this stuff. So we are just keeping busy and doing things. And so my prep day for the pill cam was Sunday. And I could eat all the way up until noon. And then noon until 10 o'clock was just a liquid diet. And from 10 o'clock in the morning until I was swallowing the pill cam, I couldn't have anything to eat or drink or have any kind of medications or anything. And then the following, so after swallowing the pill cam, I had to wait 2 hours to start drinking anything. 2 hours after that to have any kind of dairy or anything like that, like coffee with creamer or anything like that, puddings. And then 8 hours after swallowing the pill cam, I could finally eat. Well, on that Sunday, after I ate my breakfast and had all the things that I could have until noon, after that, my husband and I decided to change our living room around. You haven't seen this. So we have not changed our living room around in
years.
Probably
it's been a long time.
20 plus years. I think it's been that same way since.
No, where your guys' chairs were, there used to be that couch.
But other than that, things haven't changed.
There's been a lot of stationary furniture or just locations where furniture just always has been. Even if the furniture themselves have changed, the locations of where everything is placed has always remained the same.
Well, we changed some stuff. So there's that, and
Has it helped?
Yeah.
Kind of creates some sort of distraction.
And it was a very much of a distraction, and it was like, this needed to happen a long time ago. Thank goodness it's happening now. And so that took a good couple of hours, and we vacuumed the whole space up, and we cleaned and dusted and did all the stuff, and we work well together in that kind of situation, and we have decided that it's just really kind of nice to have that day that you're waiting to do another test, prepping for that, and just having your mind off it. So that was kind of fun. So every time I see the living room now, I'm just like, oh, that was fun. But so, and then my cousin got a hold of me and let me know that she had a ring light for when we're videoing, to bring light into the situation if there wasn't any. And coming on winter, we're going to have a lot more dark times.
And lighting has been kind of finicky for us in the past.
So getting this ring light is kind of really a blessing. She didn't want anything for it. She just wanted to get it out of her house. I don't think it's ever been used. It's still in the box. So we are getting a brand new something, and it's kind of perked me up. And she didn't even know what was going on with my health or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So when she saw me yesterday, she goes, "You look really sad." And I said, "Nope, I'm just waiting for results." And I had to tell her what was going on. And she's like, "Oh, all right. I can understand that waiting is how intense that can be for waiting for medical news." But she says, "This should cheer you up." And it did. So just knowing that, you have people in your corner and people to talk to and things to do and keep you occupied has been a real blessing to me. And so we're just all hoping that the news is neutral, nothing to worry about, easily worked with, come back for another colonoscopy in 5 years kind of deal. But if it isn't, we will run with it. We will do what we have to do. We will pray, and we will get this thing taken care of, and we will survive. It's all a matter of perspective, right? So just getting on, just waiting for the results.
It's the waiting game.
It's never been easy for me. Mm-mm. But once I know what I'm dealing with, like when I had to deal with it with my son, or anything that was happening when Sarah was growing up, knowing always helped me. I could research it, I could find out the best solutions for things, and I could implement them. Yeah. And just waiting is making me, there's nothing to research. There's nothing to help yourself with.
It's one of those things where, they have that whole research thing where in neuroscience that proves that you have the emotional part of the brain and the rational part of the brain. And then when they work together at the same time, it's called wise brain. But when you're left waiting, I think your nervous system just has nothing to do with all that energy.
Yeah.
And I think it just leaves you in that emotional part of your brain where you feel trapped and stuck.
Yes.
Whereas when you have something to research, it puts you into that rational part of your brain where it causes you to get out of your emotions, and there's like how can I fix this? How can I take control back? How can I how can I navigate these new parameters? And I think there's nothing wrong with that, granted, but it leaves you having to kind of recognize that when you're in just the emotional part of it, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And when all you are left to do is feel, sometimes your own company is not exactly easy, just because it's the whole, I understand why I'm worried, because it's me. So there's no way of just feeling yourself out of the situation.
Yeah.
There's no way of emotionally taking yourself out of that situation when it is about you.
Yeah.
And it will impact you because it is about you. So it's just one of those, like, you can't just outthink yourself with that. You have to wait till you have something that can give you that control back. And so having those other outlets that you have a little bit more ability to get into that problem solving part of your brain, your rational part of your brain, is probably why it's such a go-to right now.
Right. And like I told my cousin, at least when I'm writing, if I feel like killing somebody, at least it's legal.
Oh my God. Wow.
So if I
Ah!
want to kill a character off in my book, it's totally legal.
I love you so much.
Sometimes I just get that that feeling in my brain, but at this point my book is not in that era. It's not in that where I'm reading and trying to edit is not in that section yet.
Yeah.
So it's just, and at least I feel like I'm accomplishing something when I'm writing and I'm editing and getting the focus off, oh, what will the results be. I'm doing something productive.
Mm-hmm.
And during the night when I'm watching TV with my husband, I have a crochet hook and yarn in my hands. I constantly have to be doing something to just make sure that the focus isn't on me. Mm-hmm. And that helps a lot. So if that's your deal too, if you're waiting for results or you're waiting for something, put something in your hands to do. You know, if you write, if you crochet or you knit, do that. If you work with beads in any way, if you know, make quilts or any other crafting endeavor that is out there, there are thousands. Put your hands to doing something and it will make you feel so much better.
You know, picking up a good book, finding ways to distract yourself and good coping mechanisms instead of just worrying yourself to bits is the best way.
Yeah.
Always.
And that's exactly what our
saying.
Yeah, our line, what is that?
Stitch your way to mental health.
No, I knew the line. What it's called, actually.
What, like meditating?
There is an actual title to what that is, and I cannot think of it right now. But Stitch Your Way to Mental Health came from us before we ever started the first video of this channel. We came up with that because we wanted to make sure that you guys knew that doing something was going to help your mental health.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're getting the help you need, but also help yourself by doing something with your hands, getting your mind off things, and doing things that would benefit you and others. Mm-hmm. When I'm making blankets, I know that they're going to be going out to other people, and that helps them, but it also helps me when I'm making them. So that's what I had to say. So do you want to read the quote for today?
I find the quote to be kind of interesting because, well, the quote is by an anonymous source. It just says, "Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go."
Yeah.
I
and
think
that's kind of what we were talking about today.
I think there's just a reality to the fact that no matter what autumn means to anybody, it creates a need to be ready. And getting ready for winter normally means finding ways to have to cope with the fact that you're about to be in hibernation mode and be in your house a lot more than maybe you're used to or like. But whether it is finding ways to prep up your space with homemade crafts, whether it is to occupy yourself with a nice drink and a good show or book, whether it is to find ways to spend time outside while it's still comfortable, or to prep for the winter sports that you like to do. There is a reality that letting go doesn't always have to be a painful thing. It can be a beautiful thing. And getting yourself ready for the next season, no matter how hard, can be a beautiful thing. I know this quote, it might seem a bit out of nowhere, but I think it's from, I don't know where it's from specifically. I think I heard it from the movie Herbie, like the car movie. But it was this older gentleman who's just like, what do you do at the end of a story? And, you know, the other characters sitting there being like, well, you know, you can do this, or you can do that, or you can try to learn something from there, you can try to da-da-da. And he's like, no, you just close the book.
Oh, wow.
And he's just like, you can't do more unless you accept what is.
Yeah.
If you keep holding on, waiting for more to happen when the story is over, then you can't pick up another one.
Right.
Yeah. And there was just something to the simplicity of that, because sometimes we're trying to constantly draw meaning out of something or wait for something to happen that isn't going to happen. And I'm not saying that as in, you know, don't get closure or don't seek to find some means, but there's something about the fact that when things are out of your control, there are some things, whether they be thoughts or, you know, just what it is to get into the next season of life, where recognizing that whether it is fruitful or not, to be being stuck where you are when all you need to do is just let it go.
Yeah.
Shut it, and a new opportunity will present itself.
Yeah. That's a good thought. I also think, you know, with autumn being the changing colors of the leaves and the leaves falling from the trees and the trees letting them go. They're letting them go because they're getting ready for winter themselves. Mm-hmm. And they can't hold on to them. And letting go of the leaves and getting ready for winter is their way of letting us know
it's time.
It's time.
And I think that we have to sometimes accept that. I don't know, for whatever reason, I've said this a couple times, I was not ready for fall this year. I did not expect it to happen the way that it did. All of a sudden, I just looked up and the leaves were changing. And for me, that's not something I'm normally caught off guard by. But I've been so busy, and things have taken away my attention to the things around me, whether it be illness or visitors or projects or even just crazy things like just head lice or just small inconveniences. They have taken away such focus that I would normally be spending in enjoying the season that I'm in, that it is one of those things where finding ways to be able to be in the moment have been so important, because otherwise I'm just going to keep getting startled. I don't know. I don't want to be startled when the first snow hits, because then I'm really not going to know what to do.
So I'm going to reiterate, autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. And that was said by some unknown person. And so yeah, we are going to
say goodbye for today.
Yeah, and we're going to ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and share.
And as always, until next week, when hopefully we will have actual projects to share with you.
Well, yeah.
We hope that you stitch your way
to mental health.